Hello everyone, it's Helen here. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we have some new goodies to play with, and we're going to be continuing with our stitched journal that we are making. In the first episode we made the wrapped cover, so today we're doing the pages, and I've got all these goodies here. So the sizing first I want to get over with. So it's all designed to go with the medium album die set, and today I'll also be adding some of the medium album pages into this album to make it more of a hybrid version. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to use this tool and how to customize it for the size that we're doing. So you will also be needing a Sharpie pen as well, and we're also going to be playing with these binding pages. So you get 32 sheets of these. They're all pre-cut, pre-folded for you, and I'm going to be using 5 of those today. So there's my 5 there. They're 120 GSM, so that gives you a good amount of weight there. It's not too thin, not too thick, and it's 62 sides once they're folded. So 32 sheets, 62 folded sides. So I'm going to be showing you exactly where to put your holes next. Let's move this aside. You saw this in the other video. This is what our album is made from. So let's pop this together. So we need to kind of insert these into a booklet. So I'm just going to stack them up like this. And I'll also be showing you how we're going to be doing a saddle stitch. So this booklet that I have here is already popped in there with a saddle stitch. Okay, so I've got myself 2 little clips here. I'm just going to use the first one because it's going to have to slide onto our little tool. So I'll add the clip once it's on there. So let's move over to the tool now and get that prepped. So here's one that I have done already, and I'll be going through this one, how to prep that, in a moment. So I just need to explain a couple of bits. So I've added some circles here with my Sharpie. This is for the medium album, and if you want to do different sizes, use a different coloured Sharpie for your holes. And I do say having the holes already kind of marked out for you makes it so much easier. And I do have a photograph of this for you to download. I will leave a link for that down below so that you can reference this and do this to your kit as well. So this literally just comes off. These unscrew like that. And I have added a couple of pencil lines onto the actual wood board as well. So I've gone down, right down the centre. It'd be easier if I hold it like this. I've gone right down the centre here. This is really going to make it a lot easier for you to line up the centre crease here. And I've also added some pencil lines here. This one is the P for the pages, and I put C down here for the cover. So you'll be using this as a lining guide for your pages, so you'll know exactly where to put the holes. Right, so let's prep our brand new one. So this kit does come with its own awl. That's AWL. It has the 2 little thumb hole screw thingies, and it also comes with some thread and 2 choices of needle there as well. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a pencil and a ruler, and I'm going to go right down the center of these holes here. And I'm going right down to this bottom bit there of the screw hole. Okay, so let's add a side line. So we've got these bottom 3, and this line needs to go right along the base of those 3 holes. And then the second line needs to go in between these 2 holes. Just like that. And I'm just going to put a P there for pages and C for cover. Right, let's play with this. I might have to get a white piece of paper actually, so you can see what I'm doing. Not sure if that's any better, but we'll see. Luckily, you only need to do this the first time. Once this is set up, you can just go ahead and create all of the little stitched albums that you want to. So the first hole here is in the middle. We're going up the middle section, and it is the second one up. So just make a little bit of a mark around there, and then count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's the 5th one up. And now all of these holes are basically 4 holes in the middle, and then you make your mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, in the middle, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then 1 2 3 4 5. There we go. And this setup will also work for the small album. The large album hasn't been done yet. I think you'd probably need to use A3 paper actually to make your little booklets. So let's just concentrate now just on the small and the medium, and these marks that I'm making will work for both the small and medium. That is it. That is all I have to do for that. Now our little kit, our little toolkit is now prepared and ready to use. And again, there is a photograph of all of this. It's linked down below. Download that and refer to it when you are playing with this. Right, so we have here our two little thumb screws. So don't put them in completely because we need to slip our paper under there. Right, so we have our first pencil line for P, which is the top one. So slide that under. And if you find it easier to line up this pencil line that's behind here with the centre piece here, grab your pencil again. Just make a little mark top and bottom, just like that. I'm not too sure whether the camera will be able to pick that up. I've just added those little pencil lines there. That's going to help you line this up in the middle as well. And then once you are happy with everything in alignment, just loosen it up if you need to. So I'm going down to the P pencil line. Okay, hold it down in the middle here, and then you can tighten both of the screws. There we go. Now let's get our little pokey tool out. And this comes with a little bit of a protective cover as well, so I suggest you try not to lose that. It'd be very difficult not to lose it, but try not to. I'm just going to pop that there in that binding. So you will notice top and bottom we have one spare hole, so all of these holes are now equally spaced out throughout the pages, and then we can just make our little stabby hole. Go through. There we go. And there we are. We've got all of our holes in there, so that is our paper done. Actually, we didn't really need to use the extra clip, but this clip here has kept everything lined up whilst we got everything ready. So all the holes are in now. Let's pull that out. There we go. Oh, did I miss out the middle one? I did, didn't I? Okay, let's pop that back in. This should be really easy to line up again. Use the original line. There we go. I bet you saw me miss that one out as well. There we go. We have equally spaced holes, and I've got these little pencil marks that we can now use a rubber and rub those out. There we go. That's now ready. Let's prep our hard cover. I'm going to have to loosen these up quite a bit now to get this under. So my plan is to have a signature on the front, a signature at the back, and then my medium album pages. Let's try not to lose this. In the middle. I think I might have space for two. We will see. So all we've got to do is just slide this under. I'm thinking I'm going to actually do it this way. Now if you want to go in with a ruler and mark out equally where you want all of your little rows, you can do. I'm just going to eyeball it because that's just the way I roll. So we have this bottom line here that we made. Pop that on there. I do want this on a bit further. Just take your time deciding where you want things. Don't rush this. Just take your time. Okay, so I have decided to line up my page here, this mat here, with these holes here. So let's straighten that up. and then make sure that it is with the bottom line, and then once you're happy with that position, you can then tighten everything up. Right, let's get poking our holes. So again, go all the way through. You do need a little bit more of an oomph with this, so definitely get your thumb involved. Yes, I did just nick myself, but no, it's fine. Just need to move this across for the last two. I think I'm slightly misaligned there. There we go, that's all the way through. Okay, so if none of those went all the way through, which they should have done, I think I just need to look at the last one. We can just carry on using this now because we have our little holes already made. If none of these went completely through, you've then got the guide here of where the hole's going to be, and you can just carry on through. That has gone through, so we're all good. Right, now for the stitching. We have our saddle stitch here. Looks really lovely, and then we're going to pop that through. So let's pop this back together. There is actually a bit of gunk on the end of there. It's because I've used the adhesive, the dry adhesive, like the tape adhesive. That never kind of stops being sticky. It stays sticky, whereas glue will dry and it won't be sticky. The tape adhesive that I've used on this has come off as a little bit of a residue, but so to keep that clean, just give that a quick wipe. Right, so we're now ready to pop our little pages on there. So let's unwrap the next thing. We're going to be needing thread and a needle. It's up to you which one you want to use depending on what kind of stitching. You don't have to stick with saddle stitching. If you prefer other stitching or would like to try something different, there are loads of videos of different types of bookbinding stitches that you can try. So let's just take a little bit of this off, get this started. There we go, this is wax coated as well. Right, so we're going to start off by going through the middle here. I'm going to try and go as slowly as possible. Watch this as many times as you want to. And then we're going to go through the middle hole here in our book, or the cover. Pull that through. There we go. And then we're going to go up through the next hole at the top here. And then through the coordinating hole here in the pages. So pull that through completely. There we go. We will tighten everything up as we go. And do make sure you pull through enough to give you enough space to do the rest of the album. I'm not going to trim off the end here. I'm going to keep this attached and trim that off at the end, but I just need to make sure I've got enough thread to go through. It's a little bit like when we're doing the elastic, when we're doing the traveller's notebook elastic. And then we're going to go through the top hole and then through the top hole here on the cover, pull that through. And then we're going to work our way down again. So we're going to go through this hole that we've already been through. So everything's not tightened off yet, so we can still kind of keep things loose so that we can go through this hole here. So now everything's lined up, all the holes are in the right place, so it should be easy for you to get that alignment and then pull that through. I've actually gone through the center of this thread. Let's fix that. We don't want to do that, do we? That will look very messy if we leave that just as it is. There we go. That's better. Pull that tight, and then we can go through the middle one again. And another way to get into the side is just to lift that to the side. Try not to go through the center of the thread, and then pull that through. And then we're going to repeat it going around the other side. But just before we get to that stage, I just want to tighten up everything here. Okay, so I've just tightened all that up, and then we can work our way down. Now, if you are doing this for the first time, just have a little bit of patience. Go slowly. It's actually quite nice and relaxing. So, bash the camera. And then thread that through. There we go. Then we're going to go downwards, so we've done our top bit, trying to keep this in the right alignment so you can kind of get your bearings on where I am. This is where we are, so we're going down now, and then through this hole here. I just stabbed myself again. Do be careful, guys. I'm going to need a thimble on every single finger, I think. There we go. Although this isn't very sharp. This is very much like a wool needle, just a little bit thinner. Right, so we've come out of the bottom hole now. We're going to go up through the top. And just to help you see what you're doing, you can kind of fold this over again, just to kind of see this come through. So I'm going through this hole here. You can see my needle there coming through. Go through that hole here. There we go. Right, now make sure all of your bits and bobs are taut. I've gone through the thread again. Let's see if I can get that out. Fixing your mistakes as you go along really does help. If you ignore them, one, they're harder to fix, and two, it's not going to look nice and tidy and neat once you're done. There we go. I think I've fixed that now. There we go. And then we have this last one here. There's no more threading through now. We can actually trim this off. Use your scissors. Oh, where are my scissors? Oh, I think that was my daughter again. She's pinched them. Okay, I'm going to have to go into her room and have a look. Those were my Sizzix ones too. Yeah, she was doing an art project. I've just rescued the craft knife from her room. So she must still have my scissors. Right, so trim these off. All we've got to do now is just tie this into a double knot. And then further trim that down. There we go. And then we have our stitching done. I could have pulled that a bit tighter, but as you go along and make these, you'll get the knack of it, you'll get the feel of it, and you will be an expert in no time. So that is how you add your stitched pages, how to stitch them into your hardbacked mini album. Again, you can cover this up if you want to. You can thread things and decorate it with ribbon and things like that. Right, so I did say at the beginning of the video I was also going to add some pages as well. So did I cut one of these or two of these? I don't know. Let's have a look. I think I only cut one. I do have space for one more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you how I add these in, and then off camera I can just add another one in here, and then we'll continue on with this little mini album series with this album, and then we can add the other page and we can start decorating and filling these out as well. Just so that you're still with me, I'm using the binding piece here from the medium album. It'll be easier if I show you the dies. So I'm just using the skinny one here, and then I've made 2 pages using the album page. You need to die cut 2 of these to make each page. And I've got my 2 pages here from the paper pad. So let's get that glued in. I'm going to be continuing to use this book binding glue till I have no more. And then I shall be on the hunt for some more glue. I know some of you love the Barely glue, but if you have any other lovely favourite glues, pop them in at the comments. I would love to know what glue that you're using. Right, so I've lined that up. Look straight. So let's press that down. This is where having a backing piece here, I know it's all the same colour, but having the backing piece here the same height as your binding strips really does help with alignment and getting things straight as well. So there is our first one. I'll do the second one off camera, and then I've got my 2 pages here. These are the pocket pages. We're going to slide those on. Just do a quick dry run. I'm going to slide those on, and then we have a really cool little book to fill out. So to get these on, oops, we'll let that dry first. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, it's mostly dry, so I'm adding just glue all over one side of the strip. It'll be easier if I lift this up so you can see where I've done that. Do the same on the other side. And then simply just slide on your page. Try and keep it horizontal rather than vertical. And then you can line that up with either your backing pages here, your liner there as well. This all looks aligned and straight, and once I'm happy with that I can then press that down. This glue dries clear, so I'm not worried about any, or not too much excess anyway. Fold that over, and you have that on both sides. There we go, there is our first page, and it has a pocket at the top. Do the same on the other side, because each little binding strip will do 2 pages. And I am actually going to align this top page here with this page, just so that they all match and they're in alignment. Again, there's loads of lovely papers in this paper pack for you to use, and they basically complement a lot of different themes. Okay, press that down. Let's have a quick tour. I will be covering this all up as well and decorating it. So we have here our stitched journal pages, lovely booklet here. We have 2 inner pages. I'll be doing another one just like this, just to match that in the center there, on the right hand side of the book. And then we have more stitched pages on this side. So we're well on our way now to getting the construction of this mini album done. In my next episode, I would have added the extra pages here, and then we can start working on adding bits and bobs in here. So I'm thinking about making this little album about things that I like, things that I do, just like little things about me. So I might even make this title on this album all about me. or the book of me, something like that, and then that has everything in there that I like. And it's just nice to browse through things because things do change and sometimes you do forget things too. So maybe 5 years down the line I might be looking at this and thinking, oh yeah, I like that, let's do that again, let's give that another try. I enjoyed that. So thank you very much for joining me today. Everything that I've used is listed down below. If you have any questions, do pop them in the comments as well. I really hope you like this new collection, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.